Studies published recently show that stillbirth is becoming a global health concern. According to reports, over 3,000 lives are lost to stillbirth a day globally, and two-thirds of these 2.6 million stillbirths in 2015 occurred in Africa. Half of stillbirths happen during labor as a result of conditions which experts believe are preventable. I am Lydia Sampson. Thanks for joining us on 30 Minutes. So, what is stillbirth and what is responsible for it? Why is it becoming a global health challenge in spite of various programs aimed at improving healthcare delivery services? Let's join Oyeyemi Ajayi with details.
Stillbirth is when a baby is born dead after 24 weeks of pregnancy. It commonly affects around 1 in every 200 pregnancies in the world. Studies published on 28 January 2015 by Lancet show that Nigeria ranked second in global rate of stillbirths, following Pakistan, which is ranked first, with Chad ranking third. The Lancet report says over 3,000 lives are lost to stillbirth a day across the world, and two-thirds of last year's 2.6 million stillbirths were in Africa.
Stillbirth is the death of a baby at birth, and it's an indicator of quality of service that the woman must have had during pregnancy and during the labor. It's an indicator that helps us to track as this woman had the best of service during pregnancy and during the delivery. There are several causes to it. If we are looking at stillbirth, the causes could be from during pregnancy, that it was not detected, and it could also be during labor, that the necessary things are not around for the safe and clean delivery of that child. That is why in Nigeria we are focusing on ensuring that women attend the antenatal care. It is very, very important, because it's during the antenatal care that you'll be able to tell them about what they are expected to do when they are pregnant, the kind of diet they need to do, because nutrition also contributes to stillbirth one way or the other.
Some of the causes of stillbirth, as highlighted by experts, include having a problem with the placenta which nourishes the baby. Also, medical condition of a mother before or during pregnancy, the type 1 diabetes or untreated diabetes before or during pregnancy. Others are high blood pressure, particularly pregnancy-induced high blood pressure, development of fetus, use of hard drugs, severe nutritional deficiencies, infection during pregnancy, and exposure to environmental agents such as carbon monoxide or pesticides.
Other thing is that when they are exposed to maybe X-rays at a very early age of the pregnancy, to radiations, it could also contribute to environmental factors, and that's why even pregnant women are hardly exposed to all those radiations. The only thing they do is the scan, and scan does not actually contribute to that, but they must not be exposed to any form of radiations that could lead to also contribute to stillbirth.
Some health experts attribute the high rate of patronage of missionary homes and traditional birth attendants by pregnant women as some other major causes of stillbirth.
What we see now, that with the NDHS we have in Nigeria, we see that most of our women, about just 38% of them are delivering in the health facilities. Most of them are delivering at home. About 62% of our women are delivering at home. So that is a big contributing factors, because most of them are not being delivered by skilled birth attendants that are available at our health facility. They are delivering at home, and there are a lot of social-cultural issues that goes with that. Some women, social-cultural, that they need to deliver on their own. They don't need any assistant. You can see that could contribute to a stillbirth. That they don't need any social-cultural, that they don't need any assistant. They need to. Some are delivering with these homes, maternity homes, missionary homes, or faith homes. Some of them are not manned by skilled birth attendants, like the nurse midwives. So these are a lot of contributing factors to this issue of stillbirth and newborn deaths
In Africa, you see, what I know is that when a woman is pregnant, so women came in from the side, so the traditional mother, they'll give them something to drink. They'll say to maintain the baby. That one can cause trouble, can cause miscarriage, because you don't know what is the content of those things inside. That's number one. Number two, so women goes to chemists and buy drugs or patent medical vendors, buy any drugs to take with advice or other colleagues without consent to the clinic. Even there are certain drugs that is legally given to a woman being without the doctor will give you, but during pregnancy we don't give. We are cautious of some abnormality that can occur to the baby. Or before the baby is born, you come out without ears, or the baby is born with one hand, because there are certain drugs that you take that can cause this kind of trouble. Even medical drugs, even the heart. If you take some drugs early within this 28th week of gestation, you find out that at the end of the day, even at the end of pregnancy, you find out that the child has open heart. He has a hole in the heart. It's because you are taking some drugs without cautions. So the doctors are trained. Even the other colleagues like the nurses, the pharmacists are trained that look, by this time, this is the time you are giving this drug for this woman. This is the time to avoid this drug. It's legal, though, we are giving it to anybody, but for pregnancy, no. This is the drug you are giving. It's already trained. We are trained on that one. But when you do not go and attend to the doctor, you don't go to the clinic, you go to patent medical vendors, even to pharmacy to collect. Pharmacy want drugs, and he wants to sell, he want money. So if you say you need the drug, you can't go. You didn't even tell him, you didn't even know that you are pregnant. The pharmacy did know that you are pregnant. And sometimes we have some factors that may lead to these miscarriages when we don't have medical care around. No primary health care are not working. Well, health system are very.
A public health physician, Dr. Bose Adeniro, also gave some danger signs and warnings of stillbirth in pregnant women.
A pregnant woman that is having fit needs to be moved to the health facility. That's also a danger sign, a serious danger sign. The third one is a woman that is having severe abdominal pain that you can't say what is responsible. It must be moved. So vaginal bleeding, a woman that is fitting, convulsing, and with severe abdominal pain must be moved to the health facilities for the healthcare worker to quickly attend to her. It's very, very important. So those are the key things that has to be done during the pregnancy.
She said the Nigerian government is taking measures against the reoccurrence of stillbirths in the country while advising pregnant women to keep attending the antenatal in due time.
Call to action and the every newborn action plan. The issue of data is also very important. As I've said, we conduct the Nigerian Demographic Health Survey every 5 years, but that will not help us to have data on yearly basis for adequate planning. So, in addition to that, the government of Nigeria has also approved that we put in place another form of data gathering mechanism, and that's the maternal and perinatal death surveillance and response in Nigeria. This is an alternative source of getting data from our hospitals where we have this stillbirth taking place and newborn death taking place. And it's supposed to be implemented along the 3 levels of government, both at the federal level, at the state level, and the local government level. So at the federal level, there is a committee which has been inaugurated by the Honorable Minister itself, and is chaired by an obstetrician and gynecologist. That is within their domain to be able to, and other members of the committee to implement the FDSR.
In case of any risk of stillbirth or decreased fetal movement, the medical doctor should be called upon, and it should be someone who can arrange for certain tests to know the health status of the fetus. It is, however, believed that most of the stillbirths are quite preventable.
Thank you, Oyeyemi, for that report highlighting global trend in challenges of stillbirths. Despite experts' assertion that stillbirth is preventable, it is still a health concern. We shall be back after the break.
Hello and thanks for joining us on NTA News 24. I am Ibrahim.
The commercial and industrial base of Southeast Nigeria will be the solution to Nigeria's quest for industrialization.
All the neighboring states. When they are going, they buy.
It was erected more than 600 years ago, and until about 40 years ago, the royal house of this motor plane that was started here in the Eagle Square.
It's for a safe journey across.
And that's it from Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso from now.
Aisha Obaali, NTA News 24.
Nigeria ranks second among 10 countries with the highest number of stillbirths. Why? And what is responsible for Nigeria's ranking second globally? And what can be done to change the tide and prevent these needless deaths?
27 years Fatima Adamu resides in Mararaba, a neighboring community to FCT. She has come all the way to this primary health facility in Karu FCT to register for antenatal. Fatima is one out of many women that have experienced what it means to have a stillbirth child. At exactly 9 months, she lost a girl child that would have been her fourth. Despite seeing all the labor signs, Fatima refused to go to the facility until after 2 days. By then, it was too late. I had reached my EDD. I started seeing water coming out of my body. On getting to the hospital after 2 days, the baby died. But now Fatima is 7 months pregnant for her 5th child, and she seems to be trading with caution. That is why she is here to access antenatal, which experts say is important in preventing infant death.
The stillbirths can be prevented because they are really linked to what we do during antenatal care. Most of the problems or the causes of stillbirths are linked to either lack or inadequate antenatal care. Because when you think about it, they are usually due to, they are related to the complications when the mother is still pregnant. Okay, things like infection, because that's one of the causes of stillbirths, like HIV, like syphilis, like malaria. If a woman was able to consistently attend the antenatal care, these things would have been prevented. Even high blood pressure, diabetes, all these are some of the causes related to stillbirth.
Experts have linked high rate of stillbirth among women with low level of education. Lack of access to facility is another factor. Having disorders such as obesity and diabetes, infection, fetal growth restriction, congenital abnormalities of babies, post-term pregnancy, as well as childbirth complications can cause stillbirth for women.
Well, the available information that is being quoted at the moment indicate that the rates, the stillbirth rates, they are not highest. Nigeria does not have the highest, but possibly maybe the second highest in the world. And the issue of there being very high, I think it's also related to the populations that we have of affected children and women in this country, Nigeria. So you find that just like we have large numbers or a high number of maternal deaths, newborn deaths, as well as under 5 deaths because of the large population we have, I think it also follows that even for the stillbirths, you still have a large number of stillbirths. But also it is linked to the causes,
and also reduce growth in the baby. If you pick up reduced growth at the time the baby can be born, you reduce stillbirth rates. So such bleeding in pregnancy is another common cause of stillbirth. There's a particular type of bleeding in pregnancy which is called abruptio placenta. This is bleeding from a placenta that is normally positioned, and it separates the placenta so that the baby is deprived of food. And if you then diagnose very early and action is taken quickly, you might be able to save the baby and also the mother. If it is not, it has a high fatality for both mother and baby.
Receiving quality antenatal care for expectant mothers is very crucial in reducing stillbirth incidences. In 2015, there were about 2.6 million stillbirths globally, and majority of the deaths occurred in developing countries. Worldwide, the number of stillbirths has declined by 19.4% between 2000 and 2015. And reports say almost half of stillbirths happen during labor. Medical experts say awareness on danger signs is important for pregnant women, but at the same time they believe primary health care facilities cannot handle cases associated with stillbirth, especially in time of complications.
Facility for good drugs that can control blood pressure, a strong referral system should aid our primary health care centers. This is the basis of midwifery scheme, a strong referral system, so that when you see a mother that stands a risk of stillbirth, you should refer such mothers because of bleeding history, because of high blood pressure history, because of previous history. Such mothers should be referred to centers that can manage them. So some of these cases are not to be managed if you know and you're trying to prevent from such primary health care center. But even then, in such primary health care center, you may never have an opportunity to have a referral done, and you end up with a stillbirth on your hands. The first thing is to manage the mother, manage the family. This is a tragedy which a lot of mothers are ill prepared for. So we should get some serious sympathy and talking to and understanding and kind of bring the mothers out of the depression they might go into because of it. So it's a psychological care. It's a care that all health workers should do. The breaking of the news should be such that it's not done glibly. You know what I mean? You don't go and tell your baby didn't make it. You should take time to explain and console and help and talk to such families where these things have happened so that they understand.
It is believed that majority of stillbirths are preventable, and Fatima's case is one of such. Next time, I should register for antenatal early and go to a secondary health facility. Some of the recommendation is that primary health facilities in the country should be equipped to handle stillbirth cases. Experts say traditional birth attendants lack the experience to handle cases, and this increases a woman's chance of having stillbirth. Strong referral system and socio-psychological care to help mothers out of depression is also important for quick recovery of a woman who had a stillbirth. In June 2015, the World Health Organization, United Nations Children's Fund, and partners issued the first ever global plan to end preventable newborn death and stillbirth by 2035. Record has it that there has been accelerated progress in reducing mortality among children, and data show that it is possible even for poorly resourced countries.
Improved quality of antenatal care and family planning, experts say, are key to ending the challenge of stillbirths in Nigeria. It is hoped that expectant mothers will avail themselves of healthcare facilities nearest to them so as to stem the tide of stillbirths and other preventable health challenges. That's our package for this week, and thanks for being with us. Have a wonderful day. I'm Lydia Samson.